एयरपोर्ट्स की बात करते हैं. I've actually never met anybody for whom airports have been a big business. How did you think of getting into them?
So, like I said, airport we got in early 2000s again with the old airport in Bangalore. So what happened was airport made us realize that there is a big demand for regional products. Every airport, wherever we are situated, like first we were in Bangalore. So there's a big demand for people want to carry a bit of that city wherever they go. Delhi, Mumbai, I want to carry something from that city which is a souvenir of sorts.
So, Arvind, thank you so much for making time.
My pleasure.
You have been on our wish list to get to the podcast for quite a while.
Oh, that's good to know.
And luckily we found you in Delhi this time. So it's nice for us to have you here. Tell me the story of Anand and how it started and when did it start? How has it evolved? And the journey and when did you join and so on and so on.
So, my father moved in 1974 to Bangalore. So came from a very poor family and poor background, and he came to Bangalore in fact to get a job. So 74 he moved in, he got a job. He got a job in a sweet shop there actually. It was Bangalore's old iconic brand, and he got a job as a sales staff, like one of the guys behind the counter. 14 years he worked there. He rose up to be a manager, to be a kind of partner there. And then I think 87, 88 is when he decided that I need to do something on my own. I've got the experience, I've got the know-how. I think 88 is when he branched out to open his own store. So he opened a store in the area called Commercial Street, which was, the cantonment in those days. And city center was something else. And cantonment was the new upcoming area. I mean, I give it to him that he had the vision even then that this is going to be the future hub of city center of Bangalore, they call it. So 88 is when he opened his first store. It was a small 450 square feet store, which exists even till today, which is our legendary iconic store, we call it. He and a couple of my cousins helped him to set it up. They set up a small kitchen on the street parallelly. They had a small house which turned out was made into a kitchen, and they started the operation there. And initially, it was very very tough for them. Like the first 3-4 years, they were struggling. They had a family to feed. They had so many things. Business was not the best. But I think sometimes luck also plays out to you. I think 4 years later, they kind of got the first big order from a corporate, and also a lot of. In 4 years, what happened is, although revenues didn't happen great, but they kind of started building a brand. People started knowing the brand for its quality, its innovative kind of product portfolio, and that's when I think in early 90s is when they saw some success. I think one season or 92 where they saw some profit, and that kind of gave them hope that okay, we can kind of do. And then from there, 96 they opened another store, which is again in another area of Bangalore called Chayanagar. They moved to a bigger unit in 96 where they thought that the house is becoming too small for us to operate. One small house they had as a kitchen. They started getting a lot of larger orders. So they moved to a bigger kitchen, which again laid the foundation for a central kitchen in a way, where they decided that let's move central because I think, having your kitchen in multiple places was becoming a challenge. They had one there. The second store they opened another kitchen there. They said it's just cost is not coming into control. So let's move to a central kitchen, a larger space, which will kind of give us more, at least cost control. Aa jayega. That was the reason. That happened. I joined the business in 2001. So I was lucky. I finished my 12th standard in Bangalore. I want to run away. My whole thing was मुझे ये business नहीं करना. I want to move. I want to be a consultant. I want to be in the investment banker. So I was lucky. I got an opportunity to go to England for my undergrad. Went to England, tried hard for a job, didn't get a job. As destiny has it, came back, dived into the business. But in hindsight, it's been great. I mean, when I joined 2001, it was a smaller business, 2 stores, 3 stores, very limited product range we had. The brand was well known. People knew the brand. I loved the brand. Bangalore was a smaller city then. It was still more conservative, still more tradition. We didn't have traffic, what we see today. People could travel from point to point. And so I came in and then I said, okay, let me start a new concept store. So I worked on a new concept store for Anand where for the first time we got in chaat. Although chaat was well known in North India, but in the South, chaat was very different. We had street chaat primarily on carts and stuff. We never had a cleaner, nicer environment serving chaat. So the first category I launched was chaat in 2001, 2002 and all of a sudden that became very popular because we were offering North Indian cuisine, North Indian chaat in Bangalore, which had primarily a South Indian audience. IT was just happening to us. 2001, 2002 is when IT started happening. And this whole rush of people from outside Bangalore came in and who all of a sudden wanted comfort food, what they used to back home. So we became that brand where comfort food, not at least chaat was available. You had a chola bhatura, you had a tikki, you had all that, which was not available easy in Bangalore those days. So I think that kind of gave us a push. And then as the years went by, every process, like I had to streamline a lot of processes in our organization, like bring in HR, bring in finance, bring in, like every single part of the business had to be looked into, operations, manufacturing, because ours is a product-led business. We have manufacturing, we have service, everything. So that, and then every few years, I kept on adding a new product category. I remember 2008, we launched our Badamika, which is our biscuit sticks, which was very, very popular in today. Now, the whole idea of that was, we already are doing mithai, we're doing chaat, we're doing namkeen, so many other things. A natural extension would be getting into bakery. But again, you cannot be a Me Too player in bakery. How do you create a differentiating product which people would appreciate in bakery? And that's where this whole innovation happened, where the Italian biscotti got an Indian version of it, which is the Badamika sticks. And initially we did sampling, we took feedback from customer. In fact, the name of the product also is a customer feedback name. So in our stores, we kept this small questionnaire. We're launching a new product. Give us your suggestion. That time people had time. Smartphones weren't in our lives, so people came, wrote things. So we got tons of suggestions of names, and that's how Badamika happened. It was a customer suggestion who gave us the name. And we thought it's a great name because it's got almonds and somewhere it connects to India, and we want to have it an almond-based name. So that happened. Simultaneously, in that time, I was also working on a larger unit. I realized that what happened was when I joined the business, by the time they had multiple units again, because the business had grown. The central unit wasn't sufficing, so they added 2-3 more units. And everywhere we could see a lot of costs being out of control. So we moved into this. So I started working on a larger unit. Now, 2009, I launched this new manufacturing unit, and I called it South India's largest. India's largest, in fact, for some reason. And then a lot of people called me, how are you India's largest, and why? I said, because of size, it's a big unit, maybe, okay, not India's largest, South India's largest we were. So that happened. Now, once you move into the new unit, it was a 1.2 lakh square feet unit, a lot of machinery, automation, whatever we could do in that time, right? And it was a lot of support. My dad helped me set up the unit because he kind of give me a free hand. You do what you want, it's fine, just set it up. And we didn't need such a big unit then, but I was like, let's plan, let's do it. Aaj zarurat nahi hai. Maybe 10 years down the line, we may need it because, Bangalore is growing. The city was growing. Real estate was expanding. IT was expanding. Everything was growing for the city. And in hindsight today, that because of that unit, we were able to grow at a faster pace. So 2009, that happened. Then 2000, around that time, we also got into airports. Bangalore had an old airport, which is called the HAL airport. We had a small snack shop there. Somebody had a snack shop there. He said, okay, why don't you start keeping your products there? So we started with that. We started selling some of our products in the airport, in that old airport. And we saw people are, latching on to regional products. People traveling out of Bangalore want to carry something of the city with them, of Karnataka, of the region. So that's when Mysore Pak became this go-to product for the airport. 2008 happened. We moved to the larger airport in Bangalore, which is the airport today. And there, was a bigger store where shoppers took up a store, and Mithas was the brand which they created, in which they gave us prominent space. They said, come as a brand. And that's where we started riding on Mysore Pak and regional products. Mysore Pak and Dharwad Peda. They became our, in fact, even in airport presentations in those years, they used to talk about how much Mysore Pak is sold in the airport. So that became that popular. And every person leaving the airport was talking about this. Indigo happened. Indigo happened. Airlines came in. Budget carriers came in. So travel just shot up. And Bangalore became this hub for travel. Retail in Bangalore, even today, I would say, is by far the highest across India. Even it surpasses Mumbai and Delhi airport retail. So that happened. 2012, we got into the restaurant business. When I say restaurant, the QSR business, which is by the name Purani Delhi. So that happened in 2012. Now again, why Purani Delhi? A lot of people from all over India had moved to Bangalore. Different demographics we were catering to, north, west, east. How do we be that brand which is relevant to everybody, plus have a relevance to where we are from? How do we have that combination? So we thought, let's bring in Purani Delhi food, served in a very neat and clean and a hygienic environment as a QSR. It didn't exist then. We had something called Darshini's there in Bangalore, which are serving everything. It's a multi-cuisine restaurant. which has a self-service standing and it has a seating as well in each of these. So we thought they are one. Can we be one notch higher than them in terms of our offering, in terms of our service, in terms of our ambience? So that happened. Purani Delhi was this new category for Anand, which became which people said, okay, if these guys can do good in mithai chaat, I'm sure their food will be good. People latched onto our food. We consciously stayed away from South Indian menu in our because we didn't want to compete with local darshanis and local joints because they serve very good food, South Indian food, and there's a big price game there. You cannot have your idli or your dosa at a very high price. So we said, let's not stay in that. Let's not compete there. Because tomorrow, if something goes wrong with your chutney or a sambar, it's bad for the whole brand. Consumers will stop coming to the brand. So we stayed consciously away from that, and it helped us because we created a category completely different for us. Today we do about 12 restaurants. We have about 15 stores. And yeah, I mean, these are things. And then, 2012, again, with the restaurant brand, we also revamped our look and feel of our stores. Made it very, very plush, made it very, the whole experience. We started working on how the consumer walks in, what kind of experience he gets, how does he walk in the stores, what is the different touch points of the store at a retail format. Restaurant, it was a QSR, self-service. How do we make it efficient? How do we make it the customer doesn't feel that I've come to a place which is like in our word, darshini. It's a little an upgrade from a darshini in a nicer ambience. Food is served well, and that really helped us. I mean, and consciously kept on changing the profile of the perception of Anand every 3 years. So that really helped us.
So you have innovated on product selection quite a lot over time.
Yeah.
And that's been your always on focus. And some of the products that you have launched have become a category on their own, right?
Absolutely.
So Mysore Pak is a big thing for you. Absolutely.
Mysore Pak is, I think, I would say top 3 for us today. If I put it in the top 3, offline, online, airports, across.
What would be the top 3?
So even you'd be surprised that even today, Motichur Laddu, Kaju Katli, Mysore Pak. These are my top 3 products.
But Mysore Pak is a specialty which you are very well known for, and sells a lot at airports as well. And you have a Bangalore plus airport presence, or
Correct.
And
Bangalore is our stores. Bangalore airport, we are there, and plus other airports across India.
Got it. And if you don't mind me asking, how much is the turnover for people to put yours in relative size?
We're about 300 crores at the moment.
Okay. And what are your future plans? How are you planning to grow the brand further?
So we've got a great potential in our city now. We've got a potential to open at least a few more stores, which we're going to do. We're going to take our food brand across tech parks and food courts and malls and hospitals, all high footfall zones. We're going to come in with our food brand, which is Purani Delhi. Then we want to go into other cities of South. Like I said, we want to get into Chennai, for example, get into Tamil Nadu, get into Coimbatore, Cochin. We're looking at southern cities primarily because there's a great potential for us. And because Anand is so well entrenched into this whole gifting eco-space, so there is no other brand, involved in gifting, in mithai as such, and which makes mithai, glamorous, I would say, in a way. So that's where we want to be.
And do you think you'll customize the product range for every new city that you go to, or are you going to take what you have in Bangalore and?
No, so every city will have a selection of products which are catered to that city, but a majority will be our portfolio, our this thing. And like I said, every city has some taste bud. Like if we go to Cochin, for example, Kerala, you have to experiment on halwas. People prefer halwas there. We go to a Chennai, for example. People like more ghee-based sweets. So we add a bigger range of that. More regional snacks.
So you will nationalize a regional play rather than nationalize
I
a
don't
nationalized
think
play.
one
Right?
product mix fits India is not going to work for us. Yeah. So that we'll have to. I mean, we go tomorrow to Andhra, for example. We go to anywhere. So we'll have to have some of their regional products which people are close to. That you can't take away from every region. If tomorrow we come to Delhi, for example, we'll have to bring in some products which people are really, really fond of here.
Absolutely. And you have a very high focus on gifting as well. And why? How did that idea happen to you? And
So gifting has always been so what has happened over the years, mithai is moved from personal consumption to a gifting category. More and more people have started gifting mithai.
Mithai mein, how much do you think is personal and how much do you think is gifting percentage wise overall?
50-50.
50-50,
Yeah,
okay.
easily. Because all festivals are gifted. All your entire festival. Okay, for my home consumption, I'll buy a small box of sweets, maybe a 250-gram size or something. But when I have to gift somebody, I'll buy a bigger box. So that way, the number of orders, like you said, maybe more in the personal space, but the volumes are very less. Gifting, you do large gifting, you do gift boxes, hampers, platters, anything. So people have and gifting. What happened? There are two types of gifting. One is a lot of personal gifting, and there is a corporate gifting angle to it. So gifting has these two. Corporate gifting, come Diwali, come any big festival, a lot of your companies, they gift boxes to the employees. We curate something special for them. Every festival we have our catalogs which go out. Sales teams meet our clients, and every festival we have to do something new because last year you got a box of mithai. That's one time a year when you get something edible, like at least a gift box which you take home from your company. And how do we make it special? So we really work a lot on that angle. Personal gifting, be it wedding, a celebration, new baby birth. There's so many things. I mean, every person has milestones in their life, right? From your child is born to the child gets married. You need mithai at every stage. So how do we fit in? We've actively worked on those aspects. For somebody's wedding, we have stuff from आप जब से रोका करते हो जब से wedding तक. There's a whole range of services we offer, and where you want us, and we can give you that. So that really helped us. Today, more and more people are coming to Anand for gifting. Even when I say about online platforms, we're there on a lot of these, Amazon and everywhere. Gifting has become a big category for us. People are gifting to their friends in other cities, relatives in other cities. So that is becoming big for us.
And festivals must be total chaos for you and the business, right?
It's like an organized chaos, I would say. It's not chaotic. Delivery is big on festivals. Every festival, delivery is getting bigger and bigger. Walk-ins getting bigger and bigger. But I think if you organize yourselves, like, we pre-plan in terms of the store, what is going to happen on that day, deliveries, who's going to manage, and a lot of support from, your people as well on the ground. They give us manpower. So it really eases our pressure.
What do you do differently in festivals? Like from a regular business as usual to a festival
So
day?
a lot of pre-packed stuff is kept on festivals because of the demand. Because rather than people sitting and packing, it gets packed at the factory and it's distributed to all the stores. So that helps. And a lot more like especially big festivals like Diwali, our food is shut, our restaurants are closed, chart is closed. So you come into the store, you'll only have retail. So that change happens there. And in general, it's just upbeat. Everybody's the stores are well lit up. The stores have some decoration. It's just a nice festive feel. Online, we're very active on our delivery channels in that time. We make sure that throughout the day the delivery channels are on. No store kind of has this shut off time for them. So.
And hospitality also has to work when everybody is on a holiday, right? So you have to set expectations with people to be doing that as well. Same for us.
Guest service becomes very, very important. Even at a peak time, we don't want anybody losing tempers, getting...
And we are in office, even our engineering team, ours account team, everybody is in office just trying to make sure everything is running smooth. Yeah. So very hospitality has just not the front layer. There's so many layers to it. So many layers. And I also heard that you started an online ordering option on your website back in 2006 in the dark ages of internet.
Of course.
So how did that go, and what really prompted you to do it?
So it just happened because I used to I remember when I was studying for my undergrad, right? I did a project on eBay versus Amazon in '99. This is right, and at that time Google was not there. If you ask me, Google wasn't there. But we did a project eBay versus Amazon, and that's when I was intrigued with this online ordering game. What is this online ordering? And then somebody, 2005, 2006, there's a person who was selling cakes online, and he approached us saying that there's demand for mithai. So would you be interested? I was like, why not? I was always wanted to do online ordering, but how do you manage your back end? Because logistics is not sorted, payments are not. People didn't have credit cards. In 2005, the credit cards was not so widely available. It was tough to get a credit card. But he said, I'll sort it out for you. So we set up the website. We started selling online. But we had a lot of challenges. Oh my God. We were, people didn't get the products on time. People used to order for a celebration. Say, I have my engagement. I have something. I have a celebration. And then the sweets reached 2 days after the celebration. So a lot of backlash. But it really, it was interesting times for us because I was with the initial ones to be in that space, in our thing where people could order anything across India. And a lot of NRIs were ordering at that time because NRIs had no other option to order. Either you call the store and order, but this gave you an online option where you select, you make your payment and delivery happens. There's no traceability, even for us, even for the customer. So that was a big problem.
It must have been a black hole, right? So once you ship the product, you have no idea where it goes.
I remember we were doing a lot of replacements, a lot of refunds half the time. Every month we had a list of refunds to do because the customer got the product late, 7 days, 10 days, even to a city like Hyderabad or Chennai, it reaches 5 days. And courier guys didn't have traceability. They did not give us proper, answers. So yeah, it was tough, but I think, whatever we did, it was well appreciated by the consumer. At least people got it in time. They really wrote back saying that it's an amazing service, I would order more often from you and stuff like that. So that was our first steps into the online ordering game.
And fast forward to 2015, I'm guessing, when you were one of the first brands to get on
2014.
14 Swiggy, right? You were the first brands to get on Swiggy.
We were one of the first brands who piloted with them.
We hadn't even started the service back then.
No.
So Swiggy
Zomato was a review. We used to go to Zomato for reviews and stuff. So yeah, 2014 is when we piloted because the area called Koromangala, I'm sure you're aware of, that's where Swiggy started. And we had a store in Koromangala, which was a very popular store. And then that's where we started the pilot. And it turned out to be a game changer. I mean, it just... we were amazed that customer gets the food, like he orders. See, I always want to get on delivery. There were a couple of brands in Bangalore who used to do delivery even before Swiggy came in. But you have to call them, tell the guy and make sure the guy's got free. Abhi nahi sir, 2 ghante ke baad dega.
There's a lot of trouble.
A lot of trouble. Here. But you're still okay with that waiting period. Okay, 2 hours later the food will come to you. This turned out to be a new thing for us. Like I said, a new baby in a way. Where we were so excited. People can order. Our products go, and we were at, obviously initially pilot was no commission, nothing. It was free. Swiggy was trying us out, trying out multiple brands in the area to see how much time reaches the consumer, what is the feedback. There were hiccups then also. Delivery boys, missing products was even then a problem. Shortages were even then a problem. But it was good. I mean, I think for 1 year we were with Swiggy on that pilot for about 6 months, and then slowly we started. We tied up with them. We signed them on. They signed us up, and for the longest time, we didn't pay any commission because they're like, they were just piloting in general in Bangalore. We had one store only initially with them. Then slowly we added all our network on Swiggy.
So over time, your business would also have had to adapt to online ordering platforms like Swiggy and Zomato, right?
Yeah.
And what were those changes? What changes did you make in
one is
business?
When you say at the store level, we've started giving separate delivery windows. In our store, when we plan a new store, a layout of a store, equal emphasis is given to a delivery window and a delivery, how the product moves in the store to reach that delivery window.
Earlier that wasn't the case.
Earlier that wasn't the case. Because there were fewer orders, there were fewer takers. I think we created this because we started feeling that more and more delivery boys started entering the store. More and more people started getting this delivery ordering base. So we said, let's create a separate space where even the delivery boys have no hindrance, and it's a separate team handling that. And that really paid off great dividends. Packaging. I mean, we had to move away from a lot. Like, we had to really move our packaging in terms of the packaging has to last at 1 hour. You sell out food. The food has to last at 1 hour. No spillage. Nothing. I mean, the customer experience, you come to a store or you get on delivery should be the same. Hot should stay hot. Cold should stay cold as much as possible. How do we give that? So we worked a lot on our packaging. I mean, that really... It also helped us not take away packaging in our stores because delivery, we were considering, even a customer buys it from a store, takes a takeaway, he does a half an hour drive to get home, probably opens it up 20 minutes later after that. So it has to last that journey. So that happened. I mean, and today 25-30% of our revenue comes from delivery.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And fast forward to COVID again. That must have been a tough time because you were a dining first business or walk-in first business, right?
Absolutely.
And so, but 90%, 95% of the business gone overnight?
Absolutely, yeah. We were, I think March, April, June were the worst months for us. April, May, June, yeah. We were like, we had no walk-ins, that time. I mean, nothing, no walk-ins. Only survival was delivery. And that too, we were down by 70% in those 3 months.
Delivery was also down dramatically.
Delivery was down, but still there was some ray of hope in being negative completely. So yeah, I mean, and COVID, but that whole lockdown period made us do a lot of interesting things. Like a new category came out for us, breads and cookies, which we didn't have. Again, that came out of the need that people are buying essentials only in that period. How do we get into the category of essentials? So bread, we launched a range of breads, basic breads, pav, kulcha, bread, white bread, brown bread, pizza based.
So you were almost forced to because you have nothing else to do.
Nothing else to do because people are not
had
buying.
to sell something.
There was no gifting happening. We have large stores. Some of our largest stores 7,000 square feet, 8,000 square feet. There are no walk-ins. I mean, what do you do? And people are only buying on delivery. People were not walking in to buy. Breads we started. We started a range of cookies. We also started paneer, fresh paneer, in that time. And it turned out to be like really successful. I mean, today those categories are like, paneer is a top 5 for us today.
So you still have those things?
Still have those categories. Those are grown. And Anand is known for that. People have started buying more of that now. So that was all COVID babies.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And how did the organization change? And COVID must have changed a lot in how you perceive business, how you grow business, and how the team reacts to challenges as well.
I think, we've always been a family-run, family-controlling kind of a business, right? So we work with my brothers, my cousins, my father. We all work together, and I feel every generation, every person who joined the business brought in a new set of thinking to the business. So that kept happening. COVID made us realize that all of us, also not being there, the business runs. It made us start looking at things differently. Start looking at a macro level picture, because earlier we were very micro. We were micromanaging a lot of our business. This whole lockdown, the whole sitting idle gave us this whole emphasis that you can do something more than really micromanaging business. And that's when we got into cloud kitchen. Because of that, because delivery was growing. We added a lot of more stores after COVID, which we didn't do in 1 year. We added 5 stores, which we've never done in the past. But all that happened because we started moving ourselves out from micromanaging the business. So that was a big shift. Delegation became a big thing. We started delegating more after COVID. We made our store managers, our unit heads more responsible for their thing. We empowered them to take more decisions. So a lot of shift happened. A lot of feedback started coming in from people, from our teams and stuff. So that we started taking seriously those feedbacks, implementing stuff from the feedbacks. So those shifts happened in COVID.
And most of those shifts have lasted.
They lasted even today, yeah. Even today, I think we follow them and great results.
Kitchens, dark stores, cloud. Did we have them before COVID or
no? Those are again come in COVID because delivery being big.
Delivery became big, and so you had to expand.
We had to get into cloud dark stores again. So initially we started dark store with the concept of chaat and mithai. We also did a small chaat counter in those dark stores, but then we realized chaat was not moving, and we had the problem of sending out fresh every day. Like dahi has to go fresh, all the veggies have to go fresh, everything has to go ingredients. So we thought it's not a practical concept to survive. So we ran chaat for about 3-6 months. We realized that we can't expand, we can't grow with this. So we moved to a more pre-packed kind of a model in the cloud. And even today we do cloud in Bangalore, in a couple of other cities. And
cloud kitchens kitne abhi?
15 in Bangalore.
15.
We have about 12 in Mumbai and a few more in Bangalore. And we're adding the network. We're adding Cochin, we're adding Ahmedabad, we're adding Chennai. So in the future, do you think it'll be more large store format or more cloud kitchen format? I think we need to do a combination. I wouldn't do large format stores anymore because rentals are going higher, and it doesn't make sense to have large format stores because operation cost goes very high, capex goes very high. So mid-size stores with the combination of cloud kitchens. Also, our stores act kind of as a kitchen in a way, because what happens in a cloud kitchen, we can offer only a limited product range, but at a store level, I can offer the entire product range. So the value of my orders, the value of my delivery business is much higher if I have a store.
So how many products do you list on the cloud kitchens versus how many on the large?
See, cloud kitchens will have about maybe 80 to 180 products, whereas our physical store will have about 300, 400 SKUs.
But the highest sellers are obviously on
the
cloud kitchens as well. Okay, so I have a question. Let's say you have two choices. One is that you have less number of stores, but they serve longer distances to cover the whole city. Right. Second is you have higher density of stores, and you do shorter shorter distance. What would you pick in terms of strategy and why?
I would pick the first one.
Why?
Because I feel that the stores also act as a catalyst for walk-ins. Mm-hmm. Now, if I'm at 4-5 kilometers away from each store, each store would kind of eat into the other store's revenue. I mean, as an area.
You can do a combination of cloud as well. It's not just store
So
and
cloud okay.
Cloud and,
okay. But today everybody's offering 10, 12 kilometers anyways. So technically a cloud also should be about 10 kilometers away. I shouldn't have a cloud in the radius of 10 kilometers from a store or vice versa, So I would say that, I mean, more stores, more distance, keep it a little far away and don't bring it too close. Also, what happens, the brand value, I feel, goes down if you have too much presence.
Mm-hmm.
If you just go all out, like today, I would say we are operating in the, not a very super premium, but a kind of premium category. And we are positioning ourselves as affordable luxury. Packaging, everything, this is something. So if I'm available, if the brand is available very easily in terms of it is at every nook and corner, uska jo perception hai, uska jo brand value, I feel will slowly deplete. So to maintain that, I think some distance, a combination of cloud and offline. Like today also our cloud in Bangalore, we have some which are close to our stores, 8-10 kilometers radius. But so both are discoverable sometimes. You're in a particular area, you go on the app, you see both the stores are discoverable. Now, depending on what the customer wants to buy, he picks up a store. So that happens. So I would say it shouldn't be too close and not multiple.
So what we have seen is that if the customer orders from within 3 to 4 km range, the ratings that you get for that food are much higher than 4 to 7 and then 7 to 10.
I agree.
So the repeat rate of customers which are closer to you is much higher than the repeat rate of customers which are farther away. And अगर 0 to 4 है तो अगर उस कस्टमर एक 0 to 4 का रेंज लेके बैठते हैं और 7 to 10 का रेंज लेते हैं. So if the 7 to 10 customers 7 to 10 वाले customer repeat at a rate of X 12 months down the line, 0 to 4 वाले customers repeat at a rate of 2X. So it's actually twice.
So being closer is always
I think
beneficial.
Because, and of course this is what I'm talking is averages. For example, mithai mein it won't matter.
It won't matter, yeah.
But
Fresh food will matter.
Fresh food it will matter quite a lot. Pizzas, it matters so much.
Pizza matters, yeah.
Like because the pizza 10 more minutes it gets soggier.
No, I'm saying for us, like a chola bhatura, for example, the customer orders
It
bhatura.
really matters. 10 kilometers can't be done. Like you have to do 0 to 4.
You have to, that's what I'm saying.
So
that
depending
really
on depending on the type of food that you're in, shorter distances are better. But you have to optimize the economics as well. I mean the cost and how much the volume, how much is the volume that you're doing. So generally what we're seeing is shorter is better for like fresh food. And North Indian also that's true, right? So and South Indian also that's true. Pizza is true.
Of course. North Indian is very true because you're like if you're having breads, roti or anything, then the longer it goes, it won't be the best.
We haven't seen this drop off of repeat rate and rating in mithai. The drop off is huge in ice creams. Massive.
Ice cream needs to be as quick as possible.
Burgers is not that high.
Okay.
Because burgers don't get damaged that much, right? So I mean
So I think mithai is again the same thing, right? Mithai, you can keep it. I mean even a mithai made of fresh milk, for example, which is it's a shorter shelf life. Still it'll last that journey. Maybe 10-15 minutes extra also it'll last the journey. The customer would get it as
half an hour extra.
Half an extra would last the journey.
Mithai can go on cities within cities as well. Yeah, but burgers and mithai like is pretty much the only thing where we've seen that the rating doesn't drop. Everywhere else, I think what happened for us during COVID, we didn't have many restaurants serving. A lot of restaurants had actually shut down. So we guys increased the distance from 5-ish before COVID
to 8, I think.
To 15.
To 15, okay.
I mean, in a couple of months, we went to 15. So because we didn't have options. But once we went to 15, there was no coming back for us. It was very hard to say, ki acha, so now a customer who is sitting at 12 is used to ordering from a restaurant which is 12 kms away. So what do you do? Right? So we have to keep those restaurants on.
Absolutely.
But the quality of food and the quality of service that these customers were getting from distances which were longer was going down. So the repeat rate of these customers on our platforms and therefore the restaurants they were ordering from also went down. So I think the distances that we are catering to nowadays is becoming a barrier for growth in a way because shorter jo distances are ordering is growing. and the repeat rates are crazy.
much higher, yeah.
And shorter distances pe dekho, we can also, for example, charge commissions which are less because our costs are less. Right now we charge commissions which are blended.
Right, I also can do more orders.
I know. And if everybody focused on distances which are shorter, commissions would go down. And the customer repeat rate would go up, and therefore there would be more growth, and there would be like good business for everyone.
Very good insight.
There's a
Yeah,
counter intuitive thing going on somewhere. And we also realized this like after we had 2-3 years of data to see this. Because earlier हमें भी लगता था अच्छा सब restaurant को दूर जाने दो, which is great, customers get more choice. But the long term impact of giving customers long distance choice what only got clear to us recently.
No, it impacts the quality of food in a big way.
Yes.
I agree with that. See, like initially even like when you guys launched this long distance, and I thought it's a great move because, you know, somebody living in an area which is like, I want to order from a restaurant 12 kilometers away, I still can order it.
Everybody thought it was a great move. Even we thought it was a great move. But
exactly.
it's just now become clear to us that it may not have been a great move. Because customers want the same quality of food. Subconsciously, they are okay with 10% less quality of food, like dining in versus ordering. But what they get is like 50% less. Asian food, let's say you are ordering a crispy chicken, let's say. It's destroyed in half an hour. It's destroyed in half an hour.
Dim sum, for example.
Dim sums get like...
dim sum will be completely soggy by the time you get it.
Yes. I mean, cakes are hard for us even at shorter kuch bhi distance. But like long distance is impossible to do a cake intact. So long distance are becoming a thing which we have to collectively solve as a industry. Anyway, more on that later. And so airports की बात करते हैं. I've actually never met anybody for whom airports have been a big business. How did you think of getting into them, and what was the reaction, and how did you have to change your business to cater to airport volumes?
So like I said, airport we got in early 2000s again with the old airport in Bangalore. So what happened was airport made us realize that there is a big demand for regional products. Every airport, wherever we are situated, like first we were in Bangalore. So there's a big demand for people want to carry a bit of that city wherever they go. Delhi, Mumbai, I want to carry something from that city which is a souvenir of sorts. Like you travel abroad, you bring back something from that city, right? From wherever you traveled. So that started happening with the whole airport and the whole evolution of travel, as I say.
Internationally or
domestic? I'm talking about domestic primarily. So people across, like, and Bangalore became a big hub where business travel increased a lot. The whole startup culture came in, IT came in. So a lot of people started traveling up and down for business, you know. So that kind of, what happened was that kind of made this whole regional category very big. When the regional category became big, like pre-airport, our Mysore Pak sale was not very big. With the airports coming in, with this whole, you know, it catapulted Mysore Pak into something else. It became a souvenir of the city. It became a souvenir, like even if you travel, say, from Bangalore to, say, Mumbai, for example, right? You carry a box. Somebody asks for it. Somebody, you know, you take it for a client of you, you take it for an investment, whatever you're doing. So we had to change our packaging in terms of how a product can be giftable at the airport. Plus, it conveys that it has got the product inside. So we worked on our packaging saying that let it be giftable, yet it gives the information in terms of what is the product, what it has. So that really helped us. And, you know, Bangalore Airport moved to this non-plastic, thing that we stopped using plastic in the packaging. So we developed a whole range of packaging in cardboard, which is long-lasting, plus which looks nice, you know, because at the airport you're paying for premium for whatever you buy, even your coffee, everything is a premium. So how can we make sure that the customer, what he's paying, he feels it's value for money at the airport? So this whole new range we created for the airport. We also created a new brand for the airport. We called it Sakre initially. Now, Sakre means sugar in Kannada in our local language. So that also kind of connected. You know, you're buying a box of Sakre. You're buying a box of Sakre Mysore Pak. Sakre by Anand, we called it. And so this whole airport gave us a very different dimension of luxury retail. How do we appeal to a consumer? And what happens is at the airport, after you cross security, you're kind of relaxed. And you're in that impulse buying mode where a lot of shopping happens impulse. People pick up, you know, they may not need it, but you end up buying a lot of stuff at the airport. So that, and the whole packaging was changed. And slowly we also started adding gifting in the airports. We started keeping hampers at the airport. We started keeping a lot of other giftables. People started picking up that also. I mean, you'd be surprised. We sell hampers, baskets at the airport today. Because I'm traveling somewhere, I forgot to pick up something for somebody, I pick up at the airport. I think Bangalore airport piloted with flowers. They started keeping a small counter of flowers at the airport. Initially it took off, but then afterward they weren't takers because flowers are difficult to carry. I mean, on a flight, you have cabin baggage, your space is tight, your flowers your flowers don't stay the way they are. So, but it was a great move. I mean, people sometimes you want to carry flowers. So these categories become very, very relevant at the airport.
So what I'm getting is that you've always been customer first rather than stuck in कि यार मुझे यही product करना है. I'm not going to change, right? Because a lot of times I see that as well, like that. Okay, I am special at this and I will only do this. But you have changed the business and you adapt wherever you go.
It's always customer first for us, like today we do a Karnataka specials box. Like in the airport, we don't sell it outside the airport because we want to keep exclusive to the airport. There's a box of Karnataka specials, there's a box of Kerala specials, there's a box of Andhra specials, there's a box of Tamil Nadu specials. So the 4 states, we have specials and assortment selling only at the airport. And that is exclusive to the airport. You cannot buy those products in our city stores. Because we want to curate something कि आपको airport पे ही मिलेगी.
But airport pe jana must have been a risky move for you early on, right? I mean, it must have not been easy ki surefire win. There wasn't a sure shot win.
I mean, it was risky, but I think it was a calculated risk if I tell you, because end of the day, it's our customer, our guest who's moving out. A lot of Bangaloreans are traveling, so they know the brand. They have some affinity to the brand. They love the brand. So, I mean, it just becomes easier for them where if they've forgotten to buy from our city store, that becomes a point ki, chalo, we'll buy something, we'll go.
And was it a success on the get-go, like, or did it take time to become successful? And
it took time. It took some time, yeah.
So was it something that, okay, people had to get used to it, or did you have to improve the store layout, the product?
So we did a lot of sampling at the airport.
Okay.
How we improve sale at the airport is we did a lot of sampling. Mm-hmm. People would be with the trays.
This is back in 2002-ish.
2008 I think. 7-8 times, yeah. So a lot of sampling happened at the airports where people, like, people don't know Mysore Pak. Half of the people above Karnataka didn't know Mysore Pak, right? How do you get them to try it out? So our staff was constantly, the minute you cross security, you would confront somebody from our team member sampling a product. And the minute you eat it, you're like, okay, give me a box. So that helped a lot. So that we kind of make sure that people get a taste of the product. Because आप taste नहीं करो, how do you know what it is? Mysore Pak, you be like, okay, must be some produce, looks a bit, gooey. The minute a customer ate it, they were like, okay, let's pick up a box. So sampling helped us a lot. Till today, we sample at the airports. Any airport you go to, wherever we have stores, you will see people sampling. So that really helped because you give a taste of that. Yeah, I mean, and in general, the whole offtake in travel. People have started traveling more. People have started buying more at the airports, and that really helped us as well.
So generally, like, I would think कि अच्छा footfall high है, let's just open a store and I will get a lot of business. But you didn't take that approach. You were like, okay, I have to create space for myself.
It's a new category, right? I mean, we're not used to buying mithai at the airport. We were always used to buying, even clothing, maybe for some reason, but some other stuff, at the airport. Chocolates was big, liquor was big. I mean, I'm talking about international airport. Domestic airports, we didn't have any options earlier, As the airports became nicer, bigger, retail became very, very important at the airports. Mithai as a category today is, I would say, across the airports. Any airport in India today, what sells most would be the mithai of that region. You go to Lucknow, you go anywhere. I mean, each brand has their presence at the airport, and I'm sure they do really well. Because the numbers at the airport are very, very high. The rentals you pay, everything is very high at the airport.
So volume has to be high.
Volume has to be high, yeah.
And you have to put in an effort for getting that volume. Yeah. It's not just a कि footfall है तो आ जाएगा.
हाँ, बिल्कुल. So actually, we got this feedback from a customer that again regional. I'm talking about regional. There's a town called Channapatna in Karnataka. I don't know if you were ever there. So Channapatna does wooden toys. It's traditional. It's an old thing, but wooden toys are made. So we curated a new box for the international terminal, for our international store, where we put a small box, we put toys in between, and we put mithai all around it. And that turned out to be like a game changer again. That people loved it. Again, a very regional, the Channapatna, with regional products around it. So that really took off. Then we did a Western collection for the airport. Western mithai. Western matlab India ka West. So Gujarat and Maharashtra, that region ka mithai. We created one. We created one central collection where central, Delhi and other areas, that mithai. We created one Eastern collection. We created a millets box. All millet-based products. So these are some interesting curations only for the airport. I mean, these are something you don't get in city stores.
Okay. Very nice.
So we're constantly working on improving, like giving new collection to the airports.
For the customer who is at the airport for their specific use case.
Yeah.
What are the order sizes at the airports much larger than retail? Must be, right?
I mean, yeah, of course, much larger. Yeah.
What's the largest order you would have gotten at the airport?
I think we did about 50 boxes once
50 boxes.
in the international terminal.
Okay.
And this must be about 50,000 rupees.
And that doesn't count in the luggage.
It doesn't count.
Count in the luggage weight or anything. Huh? You
Nothing,
can carry
yeah.
duty free.
So the family,
easily.
in fact, bought 50 boxes of Mysore Pak. They were traveling, I think, I don't know where they were traveling, out of India. And so people do spend, People do spend a lot of, like it doesn't count your luggage, you said that. And
that's a like super cool hack. Why would
you buy in the city?
Put it in the check-in bag, right?
Yeah, that some people do it that way. Yeah.
Very nice. Very cool. Any questions you have for me?
Not really. I think we spoke a lot.
So 10 years down the line, where do you want to take the business?
So we'll be in multiple categories. We're already into the retail space. We've launched a new brand in the namkeen space. We've gone into distribution lately, a couple of months back. We've launched this new brand called Chak Now, which is in the 10 rupees snacking category and the 50 rupees snacking, which is a distribution brand, offline brand. So that's going to come, that our ambition is to take it pan-India. But it's a hardcore distribution FMCG kind of a brand. That brand will have multiple, we're getting into mithai, we're getting into beverages, we're getting into masalas, into instant mixes. So that'll have that whole portfolio of products. So that will grow. We've recently started, we also do export. We export to multiple countries already. We're also getting into frozen food, breads and samosas and all that. So that will be, again, a big thing for export. As Anand Retail, we want to expand across South India. We've got ambitions to go into 4 states of South India with our retail format. Cloud, we want to take Cloud pan-India, at least in multiple cities wherever Anand is not there today. We also want to grow our online business. When I say online, on all the portals where we are, we're constantly working with Zomato teams in Bangalore to kind of how do we grow the business further. So that's something we're constantly looking at. Airports, we want to grow our presence. There are about 6 airports. We want to be in multiple airports in India because air travel is just exploding in India. And I think it's just the beginning with new airports coming up. Noida is coming up. Navi Mumbai is coming up. So we want to be there in all the airports. Constantly we have a team kind of scout airports because it's a great catchment to be in. It's great. The audience you get at the airport is very different to a city stores. So yeah, these are some of our ambitions.
Very cool. And if and when all of these plans actually pan out, the business will be like multiple times bigger than what it is right now.
Of course, yeah.
IPO plans, IPO dreams?
IPO karenge. I think let us grow a little bigger. Maybe 5 years down the line, we should look at IPO.
Look at IPO. Yeah. Very cool.
All the best for from you.
All the best for
the
that.
IPO.
No, I think it was a super good thing for us. Super cool. So I think you should definitely do it when you actually get there. So all the best for that.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for taking your
Thank you. It was my pleasure. I loved the thing. Thank you.
Thank you so much.